As you guys know, this podcast started off just with a girl with a dream to make more money. I didn't know I would fall off as quickly as I did. To be honest, I did think this was going to last a bit longer.
What are you singing? I feel like I've heard what you're singing. Can I Shazam this?
No, I just made that up.
Okay.
People also say that I got a BBL, right? They call me BBL Drizzy, so.
Oh, that's true. Did you?
I don't know if my wagon looked crazy when I walked in here, but.
Bobbi Althoff really tried to sell the ultimate fake exit, moving like she was done with the internet for good, telling critics she had fallen off and acting like she accepted defeat. The whole thing looked like a public meltdown at first, like she was waving the white flag and walking away from the spotlight. But behind the scenes, it was all strategy. The retirement speech turned out to be a rollout plan for her new podcast, Not This Again, and the big hook was bringing Drake back into the picture, literally putting them in that same awkward bed setup that made her blow up the first time. The problem is, trying to recreate that first viral moment felt forced. You cannot just copy and paste chemistry and expect magic. Yes, the full interview stacked up views over time, but the internet does not move off slow burns. The clips did not explode the way her team probably hoped. There was no huge wave of support, no cultural reset, no second takeover. Instead, Bobbi caught most of the heat. The reaction online leaned more cringe than iconic, and people were not shy about saying it. Drake, on the other hand, walked away with the better moments. The clips that did circulate showed him low-key clowning her, sometimes subtle, sometimes direct. He joked about her parenting, threw slick comments about her industry reputation, and kept the upper hand in the dynamic. That power shift was obvious. Instead of feeling like two people bouncing off each other naturally, it felt like he was in control of the room, while she tried to keep up. Watching it all unfold, it honestly felt uncomfortable. The promo push made it seem like Drake had some kind of ownership over her rise, and maybe even her comeback. He helped launch her into mainstream attention before, and now it looked like he was attempting to resuscitate her relevance again. That is a tough position for any creator to be in, especially when the internet never forgets. Still, she did not completely disappear after that rough stretch. About 2 months later, she sat down for an interview with Kevin Durant.
For both sides. Like, I'll make a video talking shit about guys who drive like Camaros, and then I'll also like make fun of like baristas. So like you can really appease both. But yeah, my celebrity
That's crazy. Do you know what I realized?
What?
That your number one fans are my number one haters. I think
the military?
that's my...
Get this, Bobbi Althoff does not support the truth.
My first marriage fell apart. Everybody thinks I'm a bad person because I missed my daughter's first birthday. And I don't even know if me and Drake are still friends.
That feels very specific.
Being on your daughter's first birthday was a slapper.
12 months old.
No, I'm just saying it's not like she's not gonna remember the childhood trauma that you caused her until she watches these interviews back, and that
The
is
childhood trauma was crazy.
No. If you had a superhero name, what would it be? BBC girl.
Oh, okay. That's where we're gonna end. That's crazy. How about you redo that without that?
Sorry. If you had a superhero name, what would it be? What would it be? The world thinks that you just...
I'm a whore.
No.
That's definitely what people
they just think
say.
that you magnetically attract the biggest anacondas on planet Earth.
My shoes off.
Oh, wow.
It's not comfortable. I didn't say my shirt. I said
wow,
my
we're going to
shoes,
get
so
right into it, huh?
You act like I said my shirt.
No, I know,
So
but
I'm
I'm
gonna
just
take my
saying, I
shoes
didn't know
off.
if you want the people to know how
Shoes.
comfy we get.
Would you date someone with kids?
How many kids are we talking?
Like 6.
Hell no. The fuck?
A much more refined, poised, and pleasant.
Pleasant. I don't know about that.
I know. I
I think that was just a word you.
I'm trying to get you brand deals.
Trying to pivot the narrative and show she could hold her own in a different setting. Whether that shifted public opinion or not is another conversation, but it proved she was not ready to fade out quietly. The Kevin Durant episode did solid numbers, but let's be real, a lot of that had more to do with KD than Bobbi. Kevin Durant does not sit down for interviews often, so when he does, his fan base pulls up heavy. That curiosity alone can carry views. It did not necessarily feel like Bobbi suddenly cracked the code again. It felt more like KD showing love to someone he has history with. especially considering the business circles they both move in. KD is not just an athlete, he is tapped into media and investment spaces too, so that connection did not seem random. If you really zoom out and look at the bigger picture, the momentum just is not there. She is posting at a pace of about 1 episode every 2 months, which is not how you build hype in today's content world. Consistency is everything online. When you disappear for weeks at a time, people move on fast. To her credit, she did try to adjust her approach. The cold, awkward, sarcastic energy that once defined her brand has been toned down. She is attempting to be more open, more relaxed, less combative with guests. But even with that shift, something still feels flat. The interviews lack depth. The questions do not dig anywhere interesting. It feels surface level, like she skimmed a headline 5 minutes before filming. There is no real spark, no angle that makes you lean in, and the sponsorship alignment does not help the optics either. Teaming up in the same promotional lane as Logan Paul for Prime just adds another layer of internet chaos to the mix. The branding feels loud, messy, and mismatched with her supposed rebrand.
Those are good hate comments.
Yeah.
I hope that your haters talk to my haters and get more clever with their mean
Yeah,
things.
what did they say really mean things like that? Just
Mine are evil. Mine are racist, very racist, all of my haters look exactly like each other. They all look the same. They're all in the military.
Man, I think that's like the worst part. As I can imagine, like
they all love Jesus.
To one concert.
They never just brought you and said, "Come on, Bobby.
It was one time. No, he didn't.
Come on, little Bobby."
I am that comfortable because I drink Prime. Yeah.
You're cute. They don't think you look 40 in the face. You know, they think lovely things about you. And I think that you take that immediate reaction and you wear it, you wear it like a romper.
What makes it even more telling is that she has only dropped 5 episodes so far, and 2 of them were quietly removed after underperforming. That is not a strong sign for a new era, yet somehow she is already rolling out a 2nd season. In the announcement trailer, she leans fully into self-awareness. She literally reads off the hate comments, mocking the criticisms about her being boring, falling off, or only being relevant because of bigger names. It is sarcasm, but it is also an admission. She knows the narrative, and instead of fighting it with something fresh, it looks like she is circling back to the deadpan, awkward style that made her viral in the first place. The same blueprint, the same tone, just repackaged. Bobbi might act like she is above the noise, like she is fully in on the joke and untouched by whatever people say online. But the trail she leaves behind tells a different story. That self-aware trailer she dropped was supposed to be clever, sarcastic, unbothered. Instead, it barely cracked around 10,000 views in a few days. Not long after that, it quietly vanished from her YouTube page. That is not the move of someone who does not care. That is damage control.
I'm like snapping into this like blunt, dry personality that I'm trying not to smile or anything. And then the most awkward part ever is when you're done. You stop and you're like, all right, that's a wrap. And then everybody's like, okay, let's be normal now. And like, it's such an awkward thing to do that every single episode is a little bit awkward. Like, I feel like I got out of character for a minute there for a few episodes. I started to get insecure of the character because of comments, right? Because they're like, oh, that person's rude, she's whatever. But then I realized that's what grew my page. So if I'm editing a podcast and there's like too much of us being normal, I'm like, cut. That can't go.
Got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken, just on the thing, you pull it off, and then you serve the dish. You need some motherfucking seasoning, man.
And this is not new behavior. She has openly admitted before that she struggles with leaving up content that underperforms. If something flops, she would rather erase it than let it sit there as proof. That mindset says a lot. About 11 months ago, when her career was in a much stronger place, she did an hour-long interview. Nearly 40 minutes of that conversation was spent talking about her haters. Not business strategy, not creative process, just the comment section and how deeply it gets to her. Here's the thing about the internet. If you are going to live here, you have to develop thick skin. The comment section is not always kind. Sometimes it is brutal, but it is also real. Plenty of creators read criticism, take what is useful, ignore what is nonsense, and keep it moving. When people call you out for something valid, that can actually sharpen you. When they are just trolling, you learn to scroll past it. That balance matters. Bobbi, though, seems stuck in the loop. It feels like she is constantly reacting to random usernames instead of building something bigger. The more she addresses the hate, the more it defines her narrative. Instead of controlling the story, she is responding to it. On top of that, she has leaned into this idea that anyone criticizing her must fit a specific stereotype. She has suggested that most of her critics are conservative men, even telling comedian Trevor Wallace that his fan base likely falls into that same category. That kind of broad brush approach does not help. It simplifies a complicated audience into one box and ignores the fact that criticism can come from all directions. At some point, the real challenge is not the trolls. It is whether she can stop fighting the comment section long enough to evolve past it. It is actually wild to watch the emotional roller coaster she goes through when it comes to people who do not support her. One minute she is brushing it off with sarcasm, the next she is venting to a guest mid-podcast, then she is doing a TikTok voiceover, joking about the hate like it is all part of the bit. And then there are the moments where she is genuinely crying into her phone camera over comments from strangers. That swing from mockery to real tears says more than she probably realizes. What stands out even more is the split between the character she plays and the person she claims to be off camera.
Becoming the person who I want to be myself 6 months to do them. Part of this change that I want to make is not giving any weight to people's opinions who just don't matter, who could only dream of living a life as great as mine. I know who I am. I feel confident in the choices I've made in my life. At the end of the day, it's my life, not yours. My kids are happy because my kids are my whole world. It means I am happy. I'm also working at paying more attention to the people who say nice and letting those carry more weight in my life. So thank you to everybody who's been good. There are way more of you than the people who hate. Still fuck you guys who hate me. There's really no reason for it. But you do. If hating me makes you hate yourself less, then go ahead.
Do you remember how well I was doing 2 years ago?
You were huge.
Yeah.
And now you feel irrelevant,
I am.
obsolete,
Yeah.
unpopular.
You want to know what I did last night?
Yes.
I watched a 45-minute video on YouTube about my fall off. Studying Bobbi Althoff's fall off is what it was called.
People love to see a train wreck.
In my old videos, I would play this character, this girl who was unlikable, who was a bitch, didn't research anyone she interviewed. Fast forward and I read all those comments and I'm like, I'm not gonna be a bitch anymore. I'm gonna try to be likable. And now my videos went from getting millions of views to nothing. No one watches what I do anymore.
No one watches them anymore.
On the podcast, she built her brand on being dry, dismissive, borderline rude. That awkward, icy persona was the hook. But in interviews, she talks about being sensitive, overthinking everything, replaying negative comments in her head. That contrast feels heavy. When you play a harsh character long enough, it can start bleeding into how people treat you, and maybe even how you see yourself. She has admitted that the persona and her real identity do not fully match, and that tension seems to be catching up with her. Now with the new trailer, it is clear she believes the only way back up is to lean into the original formula, the deadpan stare, the uncomfortable pauses, the slightly mean humor that blew up in 2023. She knows that was the lightning strike moment. The issue is, lightning rarely hits the same place twice. The bigger problem is foundation. Viral moments are not the same as loyal communities. A lot of people tuned in when she was sitting across from Drake, Lil Yachty, and other big names because the clips were everywhere. It was the trend, but trends cool off. When the novelty fades and the audience sees behind the curtain, they start looking for substance. And once viewers sense that the negativity off camera is real, not just a performance, the whole vibe shifts. The same sharp, detached style that once felt fresh starts to feel uncomfortable. When the illusion cracks, the act does not hit the same way anymore. At this point, it really feels like the fourth wall has been shattered. The mystery is gone.
Okay, I hate to make a video like this because it's embarrassing, and I know that I'm gonna see this a month from now and be like, why did you post that? And also posting this shows that I care, and I don't. All the comments are about how I'm ran through, and oh, look, another one, or he probably doesn't know how ran through she is, or just mean things. As much as I wish that these comments didn't get to me, it's like, I'm human, and if you got this many negative things said about you every day, it would get to you too. Because I hope if you're one of the people who hate me, maybe you'll watch this and reconsider it. Much because all of my comments are just so mean. People are so mean to me on the internet, and it's like, what? Because they say I sleep with every guest, and it's like, literally, I do not. But you won't ever believe that. One day my kids are gonna be old enough to read these comments, and it's like, why do you guys hate me so much? I don't get it. I don't know what I did to deserve that.
One, she's not going to remember that. My parents worked on so many of my birthdays, but that is people's biggest critique of me, is that I left my daughter on her first birthday. Like, that makes me a bad mom because I interviewed Drake on my daughter's first birthday.
I would interview Drake on my daughter's first birthday and throw a party separately. Go ahead and judge that. I'm sorry.
I'm putting out based on what the comments are saying, and sometimes it's just constructive criticism. It can be a little mean, but yeah, it doesn't bother me too much.
Personality is annoying. I'm annoying. Why am I still trying? I'm a horrible mom.
At least they're talking about you.
I honestly, yeah, because when it's too quiet, I'm like, excuse me, where are my haters at? Now I'm falling off.
The people who once thought she was naturally that awkward and detached now see the mechanics behind it. When the audience starts recognizing the formula, the magic fades. What once felt unpredictable now feels rehearsed, and when that illusion disappears, it is hard to get it back.
Well, do you think going back to this old character, this persona, would help you?
Yeah, it would help me.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. Why don't you tell me, okay? It made me more money, right? It made me
but
more.
It's not just about the money. It's
It
about
is
the
about
craft.
money.
It's about the love.
Everything is about money.
About the interview. No one gives a flying fuck about nice Bobbi. She's sold out. Now she's back. And better than ever. And bitchier than ever.
So I go back to the character.
Great work today.
I go back to the character, you're saying?
So brave.
Okay, I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm gonna do it. And if I don't make money, then you don't get paid, so.
I was putting out 10, 15, 20 videos a day, getting no views. And I thought it was so cringe, but I was like, well, whatever. I would delete them, of course, after a day because I don't want to leave a history of me failing. Bad because I get bad filler and people all have something to say about it. I'm like, fuck you.
You kind of block it out. You don't read it, or you do read it, and just.
I mean, I heavily filter my own comments.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Like
You
when
can't say ugly. You can't say. You should
like
see
you just
my
put in the
filters.
words.
My comment filters are like ugly, Botox.
I really want to know what you think about the current state of Bobbi right now. And if you had to choose, who would you rather be in this situation? Her or Hawk Tuah? Because Hawk Tuah leaned all the way into the joke. She understood she went viral off one wild street moment and rode that wave for as long as it would carry her. There was a level of self-awareness there. She knew it was chaotic, she knew it was temporary, and she capitalized while the spotlight was hot. Bobbi's situation feels different. She does not fully acknowledge how her image was built in the first place. Early on, in a lot of her interviews, she would steer conversations into flirtatious territory, asking male guests if they would sleep with her and leaning into that tension as part of the bit. That became part of her brand, whether she meant for it to or not. So when people associate her fame with industry connections and viral moments with high-profile men, it is not coming out of nowhere. Even during the Drake interview, there were moments where he seemed to be playing around at her expense, keeping control of the dynamic while she tried to maintain the persona. Some viewers felt like he was clearly joking on her, and she either did not catch it or chose to power through. That kind of clip sticks in people's minds. But that is just one perspective. Maybe you see it differently. Have you ever actually sat through a full Bobbi Althoff podcast episode from start to finish? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to the BeyondFame channel, share this with someone who has been following this whole saga, and I will catch you in the next one.